For everyone, life is full of good times and not so good. For all of us, there are days when all is well with the world, and there are other days, weeks, when life deals us cards that are challenging or painful or just hard to cope with. This week, as we head towards Easter, following Jesus' story as we go, we will discover that Jesus was not exempt from facing all the feelings we face. For him too, life swung through emotional highs to the lowest of lows and all stops in between, especially during this week, which makes all he chose to face all the more amazing. And yes, Jesus chose to go through all he did because he thought you and I were worth it. But don't take my word for it. Stick with this spot over these next few days, and in just a few minutes each evening, let's hear what happened in the lead up to the very first Easter.
Jesus and his friends arrived again in Jerusalem, and while Jesus was walking in the temple courts, the chief priests, the teachers of the law, and the elders came to him. "By what authority are you doing these things?" they asked. "And who gave you the authority to do this?" Jesus replied, "I will ask you one question. Answer me, and I will tell you by what authority I am doing these things. John's baptism, was it from heaven or of human origin? Tell me." They discussed it amongst themselves and said, "If we say, 'From heaven,' he will ask, 'Then why didn't you believe him?' But if we say, 'Of human origin,'" they feared the people, for everyone held that John really was a prophet. So they answered Jesus, "We don't know." Jesus said, "Neither will I tell you by what authority I am doing these things."
It's like business as usual for Jesus in the temple today. No hint of the temper of yesterday that saw him sending traders on their goods here, there, and everywhere. Today, it's back to making time and space for God, and making time too to respond to those asking Jesus for help, as well as to those looking to hear what he had to say. It is a new day, and with it, Jesus may well be hoping for a fresh start. But then his card is already marked. He is already on their radar. The proof of that? The arrival of a whole entourage of high Hedians to question Jesus, to ask him about why he's doing what he's doing and why he's saying what he's saying. And again, Jesus wins the admiration of the crowd looking on, which only serves to add even more fuel to the slow burning fury of those who want to silence him. And how does he manage both to please and to infuriate? Well, by taking the questions directed at him and turning them around to trap those who wanted to trap him. It doesn't take much to imagine those who were listening in smiling as once more the authorities are outwitted and have to beat an embarrassing and hasty retreat. But Jesus, the heat is being turned up. Your stomach has to have lurched as these powerful people turned tail. Your heart must have been beating so fast as you realised that they meant business. And here you were, continuing to prod the hornet's nest, simply by being you. The problem with doing what God asks is that it doesn't always fit in with what people want. Not even, or perhaps especially not, people of faith. God's ways are not always our ways, even when we think we're following God. This day reminds us that when any of us thinks we have the Almighty sussed, when any of us assumes that we know exactly what God's plans are, we have let go of God. Because God is God, not us. Not the rules we create around him, not our ideas of what we think he wants, or what we think he thinks, or even what we think he likes and does not like. But then, that is what having faith is about. Faith is about taking not just a step, but a leap into what is the unknown for us. And as this week will prove, when we dare to make that leap, we discover it is into arms held wide open to welcome far more than we ever dreamed or imagined, even us. Ride on, Jesus, and help us to follow.